We all have a story to tell. What can you learn from other people's life experiences, both winning and learning? See, in sports, you win and you lose when the scoreboard hits 0. But in life, the clock is always ticking. So you might as well learn. Winning and learning, never losing. There's a recipe for success, and there's a recipe for repeating. I always tell the kids, and I learned this from Coach Johns back in my day, rest in peace, Coach Johns, my John Jay coach, he said, don't listen to how I'm saying it, listen to what I'm saying. You know, we'll be able to contribute. I want to talk about the process of life. I want to talk about life experiences. I want to talk about trusting the process. So I just want to do my part and give back to the community, give back to the youth, and hopefully it touches somebody's lives and motivates them. And that's really what it's all about. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Chalk Talk, the open playbook of life. We are on episode 6 this week. Six. I can't believe it. We want to thank all our viewers, our subscribers, those people who are continually watching the show. We just want to thank you guys for subscribing and liking. Leave some comments that'll help us. We also want to thank our sponsor again, Alternative Solar, for allowing us to use the facility and just giving us this platform, an opportunity to give back to people. So don't forget to like, subscribe, share it, and provide some feedback. You know, we really want to do this. If there's a topic that you guys really want us to touch on and hit on as we're bringing on our guests and we're talking about their stories, you know, please let us know. We can definitely do that. So to my right, your left is Coach Serta. How you doing, Coach? Coach. To my left, welcome back, sir.
I appreciate it.
Welcome back. I mean, we had our greatest viewing of showings and likes and subscribes
when you were so happy for the show that it's just growing beyond me.
That was,
you know what I'm saying?
That's the way to be selfless, you know what I'm saying? So how was the little getaway with the fam, the anniversary?
It was good, man. We just sat back on the beach. More jellyfish than I've probably ever seen in my life, but hey man, just chilling on the beach.
It's probably because of COVID.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's COVID. Everything's COVID. How many years did y'all celebrate, sir?
5 years.
I should have probably messed it up.
Get it right.
Well, I always mess it up. I always mess it up because we have the October date and then we have the April date, and it just.
October is when you actually got married
legally, and then April was the ceremony deal. So yeah.
When we were in Cancun, that was in October or April?
That was in April.
Oh, okay. I don't remember.
So you don't remember? I don't remember.
Yeah, good luck though. You should put it on your calendar.
Yeah,
and then to our guest today is my man, my guy, Robert Davis, Petty Officer Davis, who is he's in the Navy and is currently a Navy recruiter. So hopefully he can spit some knowledge on how I can make the Navy. That's probably not right.
I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah, bro, it's long gone, bro.
Is that pun intended in that?
It ship has sailed.
I like that.
So I call him Big Rob. I've known him a long time. The young man, Twinkle Toes, Notre Dame. He looked like Jerome Bettis when I first coached him. Super athlete. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me, man.
No, thank you for being here.
A couple episodes, see you pretty much prosper in this platform is pretty dope, man.
I appreciate it, man. It's been a beautiful thing to like have an idea, and then people that support it. You know, don't forget about our guy Big L behind the camera.
Where grinding never stops.
That's right. I was waiting for it. Check him out on Instagram. He's doing some great work. Some of my realtor friends, he did some drone work for me for a listing. Looks real dope. Check out his apparel. He got some nice apparel. He's rocking it right now. I'm waiting for my red hoodie to come in. We gotta get the red. But Big Rob, thank you, man. So what's been going on with you? I know recently you had a huge life event. If you want to talk about that.
Oh, for sure, man. I mean, it's Mother's Day hits a little different. You know, bringing in a baby girl last month is a beautiful transition in life, a beautiful phase in life, right? Especially like being with my girl since like in high school sweethearts, bro. So like, what, 17 years we've been together. Ooh. You know what I mean?
Do you remember the
16?
dates?
With the dates?
Yeah.
I mean, they get a little fuzzy. Hey, they get a little fuzzy, bro. Hey, but like for the most part,
17 years. That's
they get a little fuzzy, but like
first date, first.
Yeah, man, it's a lot. It's a lot of firsts, right? But
do you remember your daughter's birthday already?
Yeah, I mean, it's like yesterday, bro.
Daughter.
Yeah, March 7th, 2021.
March 7th, 2021.
Congratulations, man.
Hey, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, very much.
Appreciate it, man.
Talk about how that's been. I mean, life changing.
Bro, all right. So like I said, I've been with my girl for like 17 years. So like, you see, like you know that person, right? And then watching the whole transition into like the pregnancy, and to see how she transitioned, and like she adopts like new new characteristics in the motherhood. Because you already know, like, I knew she would be a good mother, but like seeing like form into that was like probably the most beautiful thing ever, right? It's like watching a caterpillar turn into a butterfly, right? And then you're in the delivery room and you seeing her like going through that pain and stuff, but it's all out of love, bro. It's like it's weird, right? I can never fathom that, you know what I mean? And then seeing the outcome and bring this beautiful child, you know what I mean? Kind of.
She must look like Shauna.
She look like me. I don't know if you know, bro. I was the prettiest baby in 1987, bro. I don't know if you know. That was the most prettiest baby.
We're gonna let the viewers vote.
I got you, bro. But like, it's just like now, when I'm noticing like, since she carries, like I would assume like it's every woman, but since they carry that child, they think about that child now. But like throughout her whole pregnancy, I see my child like later down the road. So I'm thinking about like lesson plans, like how to teach her like life struggles, or how they deal with life struggles rather, right? Mm-hmm. How they deal with adversity, which I know y'all talked about a few weeks ago. And it's like, it's still surreal, dude, because it's like she's here and I see her. But I'm thinking about, it's like, yo, I can't wait to like, I put it on the game on these lessons that I've learned over the course of time. So, but like, I always felt like I had something to live for, but like, it's different, bro. It's different. It's like there's another moon in the sky, you know what I mean? It's a trip.
I was gonna ask you about that because I mean y'all have been together a long time, and I think I'm sure everyone was been waiting for this.
Bro, for real. Yeah. They thought I couldn't have babies, bro. I was like, yo, nah, we just waiting. Yeah, we waiting.
Don't put that on me.
Hey, don't stop putting that on me.
So I kind of want to turn to Serta because obviously today is Sunday. We're shooting today on Sunday, which is Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all you.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Mother in the house. So talk a little bit about that. I mean, because none of us know what that feels like.
Yeah.
I mean, that was beautiful. Just the way he kind of said all of that. Like, wow, I didn't even really think about it that deep myself. But kind of the same thing. I waited later in life to have my kids. I had them a month before my 34th birthday. So a little bit later. Same thing, when you have kids, and I just wasn't ready. And it's one of those things where you kind of push back or like, I'm just not ready. But I don't know if you're ever really ready because it's probably the most difficult thing that I've had to do. It is the most difficult thing. You're responsible for creating, and excuse my French, but I'm just trying not to raise little assholes, you know what I mean? Like good people,
She always gonna be the first to cuss.
I'm just trying to raise good people and good humans, and that's a lot of responsibility, to try to because you think about now, I think about the way that I am, and a lot of it stems from just growing up and the way that I was taught, and the right, wrong, or indifferent. That's who I am. So it's just trying to create little good people in the world.
Kind of going back to, and both of y'all can answer this since, and Bailey too, obviously you and Mo been together for a long time. Well, married 5 years, but I think y'all been for a while. I'm the only one, no kids, no. Yeah, that's
12-ish.
But like, if we talk about, if we relate that to life, as to where like Big Robbie said, we're just waiting. You said you had them later. Why do you think, make that tangible, why were you able to hold off on that for so long? Because I think we live in a microwave society, right? Like people see people doing things and they want it now. They don't want to like really work or be patient for something to blossom, whatever that is, or whether it's a career, a relationship, things like that. How did you, how do you grow in that? Like, or what season did you feel that led you to be able to wait? How did you wait? That's tough.
This is not a test or high school science lab. And it's far more intense than any video game. It's nothing like running for class president, checking in with your friends online, or the first time you got behind the wheel. Out here, it's not where the sea takes you, but who it makes you. Get up to a $40,000 bonus when you start today.
I mean, I think some of it's like subjective, right? When you talk to like some old heads, like your parents, they had me at 25, and their friends, they considered late. They were late. Right. They had kids late, right? So now that we had them at 33, I think a big thing that my wife and I were trying to do is enjoying each other, right? Like trying to make the most out of everything, right? I feel like as soon as we got the ball rolling, especially with the military, we started experiencing a lot more than just outside, San Antonio. And then once you get outside of San Antonio, I mean, we moved to Dallas. We was living in Dallas for a little minute. We experienced Dallas. And it kind of planted to see there's a lot more out there for us to do, right? And then during the military, we've been pretty much all up and down the East Coast, right? So we always enjoyed each other, to which was like, we kind of wanted to wait for kids, right? We kind of manifested like a long time ago. They would probably have kids around 33 years old. Wow. And then on my 33rd birthday, I found out she was pregnant. Wow. You know what I mean? But it's like I think especially I'm older, I do everything because I want to do it, not because everybody else tells me I should do it. So we pretty much did what we wanted to do opposed to just listening to others. But I think most people who are affected by this microwave society is like our youngins, right? Because this is all they know. They're born into like the TikTok and Instagram and all that, the instant gratification, man. So it's like, whereas I grew up in the 90s, man, we didn't have cell phones, bro. We had VCRs.
We had pages.
You didn't know who was on the phone until you picked it up. You know what I mean?
Oh man, you remember you like had to call the house. Yeah. Like may I speak to and the dad answer. The dad answer. You just like, this? Who is this? Trying not to stutter, this is Big Mark, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, I think, Brad, you want to touch on that? I know you're kind of big on the microwave, like the whole social media thing too.
Well, when you're talking about how different it is, Mo and I both waited as well. I mean, our relationship was really different. We started off long distance for a long time. Yeah. And then when we finally moved in together, when we moved in, that was the first time we had even lived in the same city. So it's kind of the same thing. We took a time just to discover each other. We took trips, whatever the case may be. But one thing that I always told myself when I wanted to have kids was I didn't want to struggle. So if I didn't feel like I was in a good place financially, that I didn't want to bring somebody else into that. And I'm doing well for myself. And Mo's career is is great. It's a very stable situation. So I'm proud to say, if my kid needs something, I don't even worry about it. Okay, she needs diapers, she needs formula, whatever, shots, doctor, whatever. Here it is. We don't have to think about, oh man, we can't go on this trip because we have this coming up, or whatever the case. It's not, whatever she needs, she's got it. And that was always the thing that I stuck to, because I've seen families that struggled through that. My family was one of those, and we went without a lot of times. And I understand why, but I just didn't want to have that for my kids. You know what I'm saying? So that was one thing that I can definitely stick to for sure. A very poignant reason as to why we waited, for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of secondary too.
I mean, I think you've always been beating to your own drum, so to speak. You've always been a little bit different. Yeah. So, and when I say different, Big Rob would just be like, I'm like, what are you wearing? He's like, oh man, it's fresh, And I love people that are like that, because I'm not I gotta be matching. I can't come all, well, I might be matching today, but it was a little early morning, But when people kind of do their own thing and you stay in your own lane, you put those blinders on, so to speak, it allows you to be more focused in whatever you want to accomplish. Now we talk about your military career. Your military career is a little bit different, I think, in the fact that I don't want to say most people, but I would think a good percentage of people join after high school, and I mean, you're obviously a Navy recruiter, so you can talk about that. But why was your journey? I mean, you told me you enlisted, or you tried to enlist in the Air Force at first at 24. You didn't actually get into the Navy until 26. So what was that? What caused you to kind of go that way?
I mean, so I feel like I am a Navy recruiter, right? So I feel like it just took time for you. I was trying to figure out life. You know what I mean? That's all it was, right? Like I've always figured that military was probably in my future, especially since my pop was military, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm a huge believer that you only know what you see typically, right? And everything else is almost by faith. But like since I seen my father in uniform pretty much for 20 years, right? I kind of seen it like this. I could see me in uniform, right? So I always seen it. But I guess if I'm being honest with myself, I was trying to figure out a different path, right?
Why do you think that?
I don't know. I feel like it was always a safe bet, you know what I mean? But like after high school, and I realize this now. So back in the day, I mean, I was going through it. You don't realize you're just trying to piece everything together, right? But like after high school, it's like you lose a sense of structure, right? Because everything up to that point is like structure, dude. Like the bus comes, you know what time to be at the bus stop. You know what time to get on that bus. You know what time when that bus stops. You know you're going to school. When the bell rings, there's all these like trigger points that you know what you should and should not go to, right? And then after high school, it kind of that shit falls by the wayside, bro. You kind of figure out by yourself, like I got bills now, dude. You know what I mean? So I still got this football dream. I'm playing football, doing Duville, right? I'm trying to balance that. But I always wanted more for myself, right? So like, they just got to the point, man. I was living in Dallas, working like 2.5 jobs. I was working Costco in the morning. I worked at a CrossFit gym for free membership, essentially. And then at night, I was working at FedEx, bro. And I was working at least 3 months straight without a day off, right? And then it just got to the point where I was thinking, it was like, I couldn't remember how I got to work. Because, like, I was just so mentally exhausted, man. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. It's like you drive with your self-conscious and you're not even conscious of it. It's wild, bro. It's the craziest feeling. But during that same phase, man, I was like, kind of like what Bailey was talking about. Like, if I had a child right now, my child would never see me. We would be struggling, trying to put food on the table. And I knew the military kind of just, because my pops kind of supports you with the benefits, surprise that structure, bro, what you need. And I needed that void to be fulfilled. So I joined at 26, man, and I think joining at 26 gave me a whole lot of perspective, because all the stuff that we do that is hard to some, it's not hard to me, because I got beat up by life just trying to figure this shit out, right? So I was kind of battle tested and battle hardened coming in. So a lot of stuff do not faze me. What opposed to these youngest, it's growing pains, right? It's challenges, more challenging for them, and it's new to them because it's their first time, leaving the nest.
Would you say that, and I've heard this, my dad was a Marine, brother Marine, got a lot of military, that boot camp and stuff is more mental than physical?
I would say the Navy boot camp is definitely more mental than physical.
Why?
Everything is physical. Well, for one, it's just we don't do a lot of combat training in boot camp. Combat training set aside for those particular jobs that we don't handle combat, right? So everything about the Navy boot camp is about honor, courage, and commitment, and setting the understanding the history and tradition of Navy. There's a lot of classroom instruction, right? Of course, you're going to do like your trade trainings, like everybody's a firefighter in the Navy, right? You're going to do the gas chamber. You're going to do all this other stuff, yeah. But it's more mental, because that's literally for these 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds, it's the first time they ever been on the plane. It's their first time leaving Texas or whatever it may be. So they're dealing with that.
Probably the first time being yelled at.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been yelled at my whole life. You know what I mean? I mean, you yelled at me. You was a coach. You was my coach. You know what I mean? So it's like, I was just, yeah, you make sure you edit that out, bro. But I feel like that's just a small part of it. And then, like, I think sometimes this may hinder me, but like what's already expected, I don't trip on. Like I'm expected to be yelled at if I do shit right or wrong. I mean, I've been yelled at before. What's the worst that could happen, right? So just kind of going into it expecting the worst. I mean, it's kind of like I'm already expecting the worst. Why stress over certain things?
Joining and there's a bunch of younger people. Were you automatically kind of a leader?
You'll be surprised, man. I wasn't even the oldest one in my division, bro. There was like probably 10 of us the same age, man, going there, and they had this one 35-year-old, and there was a 29-year-old. I think it was the same thing, man. But like, it's dope that just like any other team, I mean, we all play sports, right? Like, you in the trenches together, right? So you kind of forge like this dope bond is like that's like no other, right? And then it's almost an accountability partner or a system that you benefit from, right? So I would say the same characteristics and that same framework as like playing football, basketball, track, whatever it may be. It's in the military, man, because you're not doing it all by yourself. You know what I mean? I'm not the only one driving the boat. You know what I mean? It takes people to make sure that boat stays powered. And man, it's a lot of things that go into it.
What was there like a point in basic that you were? I mean, were you ever like really physically drained mentally? I mean, mentally drained?
Not at all, man. I think I'm different. I'm not saying I'm different like as a flex. I think it's just like I feel like you're there for a reason, right? So, and I feel like you got to that point for a reason, and then whatever you draw up in your mind as the worst, everything that you put in your mind you will never hit that pretty much that standard. I think y'all said it a couple of episodes ago, right? Like 80% things that we think in our head is like
Don't even happen.
Yeah, it don't even happen. So it's just like that, right? And I honestly abide by that. It's just how our brains work.
A lot of people out there that are going through something, and whether it's a breakup, a death in the family, something like that. Like we don't ever realize like we've made it through everything in life up to the point that we're at. Like for us to be here right now, like the worst that has ever happened to us, like we've literally overcome it. And I think if people would take a look at the things that they do have, the things that they have accomplished, instead of thinking about the things you don't have or the pain, so to speak, you can have a better perspective of life. Because it's like, I mean, if you think about it, like I just think about, like your middle school girlfriend, right? I think we talked about that. When she breaks up with you, I would say her name, but I know she's on my Facebook.
Missed out.
She missed out, exactly. But like you think about when you're heartbroken, it's like I can't ever think about another girl. I love her. Like, oh my God, this hurts so much. And then like time passes, and they say time heals all wounds, right? And so, and then it's like you move on, and you're like, dang, I never thought I could get past that. Right, and I think we need to do a better job of that as human beings, is realizing everything that God does put in front of us, we are going to get through it. He either takes you to it, and then he takes you through it. You know what I mean? And so, talk about a little bit about what you're doing as far as on the recruiting side.
All right, so it's been like an interesting role, right? Like you said, I kind of always been like march to my own drum beat, right? So like it's kind of it's another phase that I realized when I got here that's like I'm more of a mentor, right? I've always been kind of like internal, like in my thoughts and stuff, and try to figure and it makes sense, make life make sense to me the way, and try to. It's weird, man. It's a puzzle, right? And it's hard to explain that, but like seeing these youngins, right, that I kind of mentored and try to get them through that next phase, which is most of them high school, right? So the next phase after high school has been pretty dope, right? And it's an interesting role, and it's a fun role. It's rewarding, right? When you see somebody like come up from like a not so good household, and then a year later, like they living in Japan, right, doing Japan stuff with like a grown adult job, like a nuclear engineer or something like that, right? And just seeing that, it's the most rewarding, and it's kind of like you look for the next one that you kind of want to mentor, right? But at the same time, it makes you want to be a mentee to somebody, right? Because it's always something that you're missing out on, right? You can only see a corner of the picture when you got a mentee that kind of like, yo, the picture's bigger than what you're looking at, right? You're looking at a pixelated portion of it. If you back up, you can see the whole thing, right? So just drawing information from mentees about, especially right now at this phase of being a father and stuff like that, right? Getting a mother's perspective, different mother's perspective, right? Or different, whoever is a father, getting their perspective about how they do things, man. But it's been a dope little journey. It's like every year since I've been in the Navy, I feel like I'm learning more about myself. Like something I'm able to like pinpoint the change. You know what I mean? It's definitely different, man. As opposed to like before I came in, I was just running aimlessly and trying to piece everything together.
Not too bad. I mean, you were
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but like you see where you were and then where you are now. He's like, yo, okay.
I think you said something good that, you know, even though you're in a mentor role, that you still seek mentees. Who are some of the people that you look to for that, maybe in the military or outside?
So I got my supervisor, my chief. She's definitely one. She kind of fills me in. She keeps me. She's my peripheral, especially in the Navy realm. Because a lot of things I kind of, not necessarily tunnel vision. I'm tackling the thing that's in front of me, right, and then put things by the wayside. But she keeps my peripherals, right. I got another one, Mr. Cope.
Explain that. I like that.
What?
She's your peripherals.
Yeah, so things like you see, right, but you don't. That's not your focus point. Your focal point at the time, right. But whatever is on the right here in your peripheral, you need to handle that as well at the same time, right. She's definitely been instrumental in at least on this Navy career at this point, right. I got one of my first lieutenants I ever met when I got to my first boat, Mr. Cope. Just talking to him back in the day, put a lot of things in perspective, man. Kind of like, go back to school. You know what I mean? I'm in school right now, and try to cybersecurity, bro. Yeah, and this shit's kicking my ass right now, dude. But putting things into perspective about like the Navy is the Navy, but there's a lot of things you could do and benefit from the Navy, right? So my whole goal now is just to finish school and convert over to an officer, man, and get that leadership, not quality, but that pretty much the leadership experience to put on a resume, man. But it's just people in general, man. It's just like just random walk-bys that you just happen to talk to, man, and kind of always change your perspective on things, right? Or sharpen, like iron sharpens iron. Like having a conversation with somebody that you typically don't agree with, but you understand their perspective, helps you play kind of devil's advocate, and you meet in the middle, or you take what you want to take out of it, right? So there's a lot.
That label of the officer is it just a goal in itself to have that label, so to speak? Or is it like an accomplishment? I mean that's an accomplishment, right? But like that's kind of like for your work.
Yes and no. I don't necessarily. I'm chasing the label. I think I'm chasing more so as a challenge. Yeah, the security. Yeah, the security that comes with it. I mean, money is one thing, right? But like to say that you were a Navy officer and you led X amount of sailors to the completion of a mission, it's pretty dope, man. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't say I'm necessarily chasing a label. But
I think, and I know you're not. I just say it because I think a lot of people are chasing labels, chasing titles, chasing.
You can say degrees. Degrees go in there too.
Yeah, greed. The kids.
Degrees,
Clout,
like degrees. Degrees.
Oh, degrees.
Yeah.
What do you mean, like actual degrees?
Yeah, I think so. I'm weird, bro. So I think.
Let's hear it.
All right. So I think college is a money grab, for sure. I don't think you have to go to college for any and everything, bro. Right. I think if anything, trade school is the way to go.
Okay.
It's more set in stone, and it's something that you can take with you. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense that you go to school for psychology, get your bachelor's, and you're $100,000 in debt, and by the time you pay it off, you're gonna go in debt again for your child, right? So, and then there's nothing you can really do with that bachelor's, and so it's highly competitive to where you got to get your doctors and experience, but they're not hiring for experience. It's a weird dichotomy, man, and And since I've been in the military, it's like
dichotomy. That's a big word.
I've been in the military. You're gaining all this experience like for free, and then I've seen people get out and do the exact same thing that they
just
in.
life experiences by traveling.
It's not
in different situations.
Well, experience in the trade or experience just in general. Like our nuclear engineers get out.
Sounds like a Navy recruiter. You're
I definitely am, bro.
Don't go to college, kids.
Hey, man.
Come holler at me.
But there's so much truth to that.
it's not
So
for
much
everybody.
truth.
It's not for everybody.
everybody.
I think, like, of course, doctors, engineers, there's certain things for sure go to school.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean.
No, I used to tell my students all the time, and I would kind of get in trouble. I'm like, because the parents were like, "Did you tell my kid not to go to college?" I'm like, absolutely did not tell him not to go to college. But
And what? I did.
no, I didn't. He's a little shit. He ain't gonna make it. Nobody fails my history class. He failed my history class. I'm sorry, man.
He's not going
to college.
He's not going to trade.
Some of my students watching, I know who y'all are. Shoot, you can't even finish so daggone homework. But back to I always just say, college, military, trade school, plumber, electrician, right? Like you say, become an entrepreneur, or go get a 9-to-5, and a regular job, and go try to work your way up. Like those are your options, you know. But like I told him, you want to be an entrepreneur, but your habits right now, at a young age are forming who you become as an adult, right? And people can change, absolutely, but it's harder to get out of those habits. I mean, we all have habits that we now as adults maybe wish we never started.
Hi, I'm Eric with Alternative Solar, and I'm excited to announce our new Texas giveaway. So here's how it works. For the next 100 homeowners who join our solar family in the next 2 months and bring one referral with them that joins, will be entered into our raffle. Now what's the giveaway? A brand new Tesla. Yes, I said that correct. A brand new Tesla. I'm sure you're wondering, well, what's the catch? Well, the catch is we have to guarantee you and your referral long-term savings. And to show you how confident we are that we can, as well as make the deal worth it, we are willing to pay you $100 for getting a quote if we can't save you money. So why not take a chance to win a brand new Tesla, save money, and do it all for $0 down? Click on the link below to get a free quote. Do it the right way, do it better, go with the alternative.
Nobody told us, nobody had a show, nobody had a mentor that said, hey, this is not good for you in the future. Kids today, I think, because they do see the world on social media, and they can literally see anyone, the whole world. I used to lose my mind with my kids. They're like, oh, coach, I'm talking to this girl. I'm like, where's she at? Oh, she goes to like 4 schools over or something. I'm like, how do you know this? How do you even know this person? Like, oh, Instagram, coach. Like, she double tapped my photo and we started talking. And I'm like, bro, I wish I had an opportunity to date outside Sam Rayburn Middle School, you know? But they live in this world where they literally can see everything. And that's a good thing and a bad thing, because it's like, that should open their mind to see a different world. And this is for people in general, not just young people. Use it for your advantage, maybe for motivation, maybe to drive you. But when you compare yourself to people, that's where I get the problem with social media. Is like, we always talk about comparing and stuff. So, babe, you got anything you want to contribute to the show this week? Or take a vacation again?
Okay. No, I was going to say that's what LaRon was talking about. We got the most information and the most distractions. Like, but you can pick and choose what is going to be beneficial to you. You know what I'm saying? And another thing that Bob was talking about was, you keep saying he beat, Marshall is on drum, but I still think that ultimately you crave that structure, no matter what. Like, no matter what you want to do, how different you want to be, if you want to be an artist, film producer, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of people that are going to sit out there and be like, oh man, that's not going to make you no money, or whatever. But as long as you keep chasing that dream, eventually it's going to make room for you, right? But you still need a structure system, and a lot of people don't realize that.
Process.
Like, I learned that I guess I'm still a young adult, but I did realize, man, like when I came out of football, I was like, dude, this is completely different. Like that's why I always wanted to play semi-pro, whatever, because I still crave that part of my life. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what you want to pursue, you still need structure.
Absolutely.
Regardless.
I used to tell, kids, people crave discipline.
Discipline.
People crave it. People act like they hate it. They hate to be told what to do, but somebody's telling them what to do.
Yeah.
At some point, whether it's literally a job, a life, like if it's a relationship, the wife, the husband's telling you, like there is, like you said, there's some structure in anything and everything you do. I mean, just driving here, right? There's structure. Like there's lights. Like whether you believe it or not, you're following society, right? Like you're being a good citizen. You have to be a good citizen. You can't go out shooting people, going out doing things like that, or else you got to, obviously pay the consequence. So you are following a system, a structure. Who doesn't? I mean, how many times do you like look at lights? Have you ever been like at a light and it's just like doesn't turn and just stays red forever? And you're like, what's up with this? Like, there's no other cars. Like, I'm about to run this light, right? But in like your mind, you're like, I can't run this red light because then I might get a ticket. Well, that's built in your mind. That's a structure. That's a discipline of the way society is shaped. Of if you break the law, there's a consequence, right? And so I think people, and I think that's a great point that you brought up. He was always different, but he always craved that structure. So, do you want to bring in anything today?
No, I mean, I think that's good points. You got to have those guardrails. In life.
Guardrails.
You can go as fast as you want, but you gotta sometimes have those guardrails just to kind of keep you from falling over, or just keep you safe.
I wrote down honor, courage, and commitment. What do those things mean?
So, I mean, when you get to the Navy, man, it's the first thing that's what the Navy's built on: honor, courage, and commitment, right? So it's a lineage.
In that exact order.
Yep. Okay. So it's the Navy core values, right? So that's the lineage of how the Navy became and to where it is now, right? So if you apply those to your everyday life, honor, courage, and commitment to serving, your commitment to others, your commitment to accountability, wherever it is, whatever plug and play, you would be successful in the Navy. It's just plain and simple, man. Just keep things balanced, essentially, and you can do right. Because you'd be surprised how many people just mess up the small things, bro. Right? Yeah. And they might miss the commitment part, but they got the honor and courage. Or they might not have the honor, but they got the courage and commitment. It just doesn't balance.
I think what you said, people mess up the small things. People are always like, I think people block their blessing a lot because they can't do the small things right. Yeah. And I really believe God will give you things, and if you can't do right with the small things, He's not going to give you the big things. Yes. Because He can't trust you with it. You can't be trusted with it, And I think a lot of people get in their own way. They want the big goal, the big accomplishment, but the thing is like the consistency, the commitment to consistency, day in, day out, being a good person, grinding at whatever your gift is, and doing that. So, how does someone reach you if they want a young person? What's the age limit?
39.
39?
39 is the cutoff.
That's it.
I'm sorry. Valerie, I'm sorry. I did not. I have one of the guests, subscribers, excuse me. She told me I got to stop slamming, and I just dropped the pen. So I apologize. I'm gonna be in trouble for that. So I just missed the cutoff.
Dang.
Just missed the cutoff, bro.
I'm not about that life though. I wouldn't have gotten in these 6 knee surgeries. They would have been like, nah, you damaged goods. Yeah, bro. But the Lord says I'm qualified, bro. See, the Lord.
That's all that matters, bro. Yeah, that's all that matters, bro.
So
Holy Navy.
I'm such a the Holy Navy. I'm gonna go get my own little suit, my own little, and just. But
39.
39. Were you thinking about it? Oh, you off too? You about 45?
I got 6 months left.
Really? Oh man, when's your birthday?
November.
Okay. So we gotta sing happy birthday to you one day.
Like in 6 months?
Yeah, like in 6 months. November what?
Make me 40 before I'm 40, please.
How does one? Guys, just bring it in, guys. Just bring it in. Joking. How does one young, older, 30, 35, 36, 37, but not 40, what's the process like of getting into or joining?
All right, so I mean, you can reach me at Instagram at Petty Officer Davis, right? But the hardest part is talking to a recruiter, right? That's the hardest thing because everybody has a perception that recruiters lie or recruiters trying to get you in or recruiters get paid per person that they put in. That's the farthest from the truth, right? We don't get paid per person that we put in, and I don't lie. You know what I mean? Especially nowadays, information is everywhere, bro. It's in your pocket, bro. All right. So the hardest thing is talking to a recruiter, right? My perspective is I try to see where you are in life, and like I can relate to the majority of that stuff, right? And then give you the honest perspective of where you are and what the Navy has to offer. I'm not just going to shout out Navy, it's the military in general, bro. What the military has to offer, right? And then based on that, you make your decision, right? I guarantee 10 times out of 10 it makes sense. I can just see where I came from to where I am now, right? So first thing is talking to a recruiter. Second thing, you have to take your ASVAB, bro. So the ASVAB it's an aptitude test. It's not like an SAT. It's not an ACT. It's an aptitude test. It's you on a piece of paper. It shows the military is like, well, this dude or this female has a mind for engineering, so they gear engineering jobs towards that, whatever it may be, right? The qualifying score, anything over a 31, but we tell them shoot for the moon, get a 99 or whatever, all right?
What's the highest you can get? 99. That's probably what I would score.
Yeah, you would, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of years of experience.
Yeah, bro, you got experience, bro.
Fair enough. Brought that on myself.
And then after that, as well as like mentally fit, you have to be physically fit or fit for duty. So they do a physical. It's like a sports physical, right? They're gonna make sure that you can see. They're gonna do a vision test, audible test.
I'll be out on that immediately. Like I can't even see this daggone whiteboard right
now. They're gonna check your joints and all this crazy stuff, man, to make sure you're good. And then after that, you pretty much on that same day you'll pick a job and you swear in and you just waiting for your ship date. It's a simple process, man. You just gotta trust the process and have a reason. You gotta have a reason, man. You gotta have a reason. So, yeah.
Do you ever sway kids away?
Sway?
Like hey, this is not for you.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good fit for everybody.
Really? Okay.
I think
there's so many jobs.
Yeah.
It's like you said, like you're gonna be at that place for a reason, right? So if you walk in that door, there's a reason why you're there, and he can make it make sense for you.
What's like? I mean, we all have a story, right? I always say we all have a story. What is kind of like the most common story you get the young people that join?
What you mean?
Like
what's up background? They're trying to like what?
My mom, my dad made me do it, or
it's rarely that. Sometimes it's like the parents are against it because they never have experienced like a military family, right? The most common reason why they join, to get out of San Antonio.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of that.
I love San Antonio, man. Like
I was that way too, man. I was trying to get out when I graduated, bro.
You always wanted to be out.
Yeah, I was trying to get out, bro.
You always wanted to be out.
Come back.
Hey, the wife wanted to have a family, and she wanted the house. Hey, it's still home, you know. But I had to fly away.
But you were
the tree always gonna be here.
To be somewhere else.
I used to live in Louisiana, man. So you see, it's more San Antonio. Like it's different now, right? It's different when financially we're a lot better, right? And we support our own, but like.
You have a beautiful home, by the way.
Hey, I appreciate. I had a dope relative, man.
Hey.
But it's like growing up in San Antonio is like
shameless plug.
As you growing, it's like the city ain't growing with you, especially back in the day. It's different now, so it's like you kind of outgrow like the scene. You got kind of outgrow like it's like a baby growing in the stomach. Outgrows the sack.
Yeah, you gotta move on.
So you kind of just want to see. You want to just doing more things, bro.
Yeah.
And then when we moved to Dallas, I realized like between working all the time, it's more than just Texas. I love Texas, you know what I'm saying? I love Louisiana, but it's just.
But if you had to choose between the Longhorns and LSU,
LSU all day, baby.
Yeah.
But I'm still a Longhorn fan too, though.
Yeah, you are. I
can be both.
So, kind of want to transition a little bit because it is Mother's Day, and I think kind of want to honor thy mother and father, obviously, but we're gonna stop at the mother. I know your mother. She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's hilarious.
Yeah.
Talk about how your mother has impacted your life, and or like, I mean, obviously, right? I think all our mothers have, but it's so easy to cliche to just say that. But just talk about what your mother means to you.
I mean, she brought me into this world, right? So it's like, I mean, she means a lot to me, man. And the older I'm getting and becoming, and this manhood journey and all that, my pops is in the picture too. I'm not gonna, but like my mom gave me like a lot of perspective on, like, she was always hard on me, bro. Always hard on me, man. So to the extent to where even now it's like there's nobody. If you set a standard for me, I'm gonna probably bust through that standard because my mama I would never reach that pinnacle of what she set for us, right? I knew my mama grew up rough, right? She had a rough childhood, like a terrible childhood, man. And so she had to kind of learn to love different. She's from Louisiana. Okay. So she loved differently, and it's kind of love hard. She loves me and my brother to death, right? And sometimes like her lessons kind of come off wrong, and it's hard for you to absorb what she's trying to say. But like, it all comes at age and time. The older I'm getting, it starts to like, okay, I see what you're trying to say. All right, I don't like the way you're saying it. You know what I mean? It's like I'm good. You know, it's just weird, but like I see what you're trying to say.
It's not what you say.
It's how you saying it.
Delivery.
Right?
Look, my mama.
Yeah.
It's a little disrespectful.
It's a little disrespectful, man. It's like it's a little.
My mama.
It's a little disrespectful.
Tone that down a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, as coaches, you know, and I'm sure you know, and I always told the kids, and I learned this from Coach Johns back in my day. Rest in peace, Coach Johns, my John Jay coach. He said, "Don't listen to how I'm saying it. Listen to what I'm saying." You know, I could be in your grill, your face mask pulling it, yelling at you. Like, if you can't tune all that out and actually taking the lesson, I think sometimes a lot of people, man, there's people that I talk to, like, that ask me for guidance and stuff, and I'm like, lay it all out, and they're like stuck on the
delivery.
The delivery, because, you know, sometimes you got to be harsh with people, you know, and maybe that's the position that your mother thought that was best for y'all, right?
I feel like she didn't know how. Like I said, how she grew up, right? She didn't know how to, because she never experienced, like, I guess, a good upbringing from a mother. She didn't have a father in her life, right? Okay. But like, I hear what you're saying about the how, listen to what I'm saying, but how I'm saying it. But it's just like our brains don't work like that. Like, for instance, like, for example, rather, like, would you listen to a prophetic song if the beat was trash? No. But the message is there, right?
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, over time, it's like you get to know your mom, right? Like, you get to know this person. It's like, okay, I know she's doing it out of love, but you're cutting deep. You know what I mean? You're cutting deep. But it's like, I have more tolerance with my mama because I knew how she grew up. You know what I mean? And that's why it's I kind of learned to kind of like, I know what you're trying to say, right? It doesn't make it easier, but it's just it's the workaway, it's the workaround. But mama's dope. She loves us to death. There's a lot of love, and you can see the love, right? Yeah, but she definitely helped me set a standard for myself to where people can't set that standard for me. All right.
As long as you took something away from that and you realize that, and you may not have realized in the moment, especially growing up, right? You know, you're not going to realize those things. Hindsight's 20/20. The older we get, the more, you know, I'm like, man, when my dad taught me that lesson, my mom taught me that lesson, like, it's like an aha moment, right? Mm-hmm. So that's interesting. That's interesting. I've never seen it that. I've only seen the happy side and the joking side.
Yeah. But I mean, 'cause I'm older now. I see a lot more of that now too. Yeah. But like, you just talking about lessons learned, that's like the biggest lesson, man. Because I still use that to this day. It's like a driving factor, bro.
At what age do you think when she was tough on you, when she was hard on you, that you kind of figured that out, that she had a rough upbringing, her past experiences, because this show's all about experiences in life.
It's kind of, I don't know, man.
You don't think you can pinpoint it yet?
I don't think I can pinpoint it, man. I don't know.
I think you'll have an aha moment one day when you pinpoint it. There's a lot of things that I like, I get it now, you know?
I don't think it's, I don't know, maybe it is important to pinpoint it, but I don't know. I think it's just, I understand that I understand it now, you know what I mean? Instead of like pinpoint where did it start.
Yeah.
Like, as long as I know.
I mean, I don't mean like pinpoint like you have to like the day, you know what I mean? But
yeah, I know the time. Yeah,
Your birthday?
No, his birthday's November.
I know, it was a joke. Like, good gosh, guys. Good. Jeez. No, I don't think it's necessarily pinpoint, but I just like to, like for me, I like to know
Oh, okay, I see.
people's experiences when they start to realize kind of these epiphanies that help them grow mentally.
I think it's just as you mature, you know, as you're becoming more of a man or just maturing in yourself, you know, it's easier for you to accept that people are like this because of them, not necessarily because of me, right? So you're able to look outside of yourself into their perspective, right? Because a lot of times our perspective is our reality.
Exactly.
Right? So for a long time, that's what we see. But then as the older we get, the more mature, maybe not older, but the more mature we get, the more seasoned we get, we're able to, okay, they're like this because of their reality.
But a lot of us live like that, right? Like we, other people's ideas of us, thoughts or dreams for ourselves, we wear it, right? You wear it because that's, especially if it's somebody like a mother that is important to you, you wear that because it's almost like, you know, an extra, what do y'all carry?
What's that?
Like, I mean, on your back. A ruck.
Yeah.
A ruck.
Yeah.
Whatever. The point is you carrying extra baggage because you're trying to figure out like why, and I think there's a part where you starting to figure yourself out, and sometimes the people that love you the most, especially parents, they don't have you figured out.
Yeah.
And you have yourself figured out.
Yeah.
And yet this people that you think you have to listen to, right, because they're your parents, are giving you a completely different idea, goal, dream that you have for yourself. And that's a tough, like you said, maturity. It's not age, it's maturity. That you, at some point, that's why I asked you that, is like, some point you started to realize that it wasn't because, not that you ever questioned her love for you, but you started to realize the purpose of what she was doing.
Yeah, I heard what you're saying. Yeah, I heard what you're saying.
I thought that was kind of deep.
That's pretty dope,
Yeah, so.
That's true.
If we can live where we are not letting other people's stuff on ourselves, it's self-reflection is important. The reason we don't interact very well, and I learned this from ET and the flight assessment that we did, is that we don't even realize ourselves how we react and tick. You know, we talked about love language with Tracy. Like, I'm a big affirmation guy. Like, if you tell me I'm doing a good job, like I don't need you to be like, yo, here's the money, or like, you know, I just want to know I'm doing something good for somebody, right? That's my affirmation. But we don't know what makes us tick. And then when we have a relationship with, you know, either a friendship, a working relationship, a coworker, husband, wife, because we don't know how we tick, they don't know how they tick, and then we just keep bumping heads because we don't know how how you respond, or how their love language is, or how they're saying something is not how you want to take it, or not how you want to hear it, because that's not your love language. That's not how you take it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so self-assessment is so big, because you got to know how you tick, and then especially the people that are important to you in your life, you got to know how they tick. That way you can compromise and at least understand, well, if I say this and they get all butt hurt, well, that's because...
But it's also communicating to that, to whoever, your friends, your partner, whatever. You know, this is how, you know, I just had this conversation with somebody this week. This person, they're very different. They are not a affirmation type of person, right? So they don't give it, right? So they don't give that affirmation to you, right? So I have a coach as well, so I'm just gonna say it. So anytime
We talked about this.
yeah. So, and I know that he doesn't mean wrong, but for instance, when I did my competition, I got second in one of my categories. And the first thing he told me, and I was so proud, like, look, I got second. His words right after, like, you know, I'm coming with my trophy, smiling all big. Nobody remembers second place.
Ooh.
Right? And I'm just like, yeah, talk about the deflate, like just all the gas came out. But that's not his love language. He doesn't need those affirmations, right? So to him, that was no big deal. To me, I'm like, shit, like, oh, you know, like, okay, well, I don't know why I did this thing. But to communicate that, you know, being mature enough to know what your love language is, or to know what you need out of whatever, and then being mature enough to communicate that to people and understand them, you know, or other people's, you know. So I think a lot of it just boils down to just growing into yourself, growing into your mindset. Just, yeah. So.
I love that. I mean, the communication part is just so big in it. Like, we just don't communicate. If you do something, and I mentor realtors now, and they'll be like, well, how do I tell my client this? Like, how do I, what should I say? And I'm like, well, what's the truth? Like, tell them how it is.
Yeah.
Like, what are we trying to sugarcoat, avoid it? Like, tell them what you just told me. Oh, I can't, I'm scared. What? That's what you have to do. You have to tell them.
There's no good news or bad news. There's just news. You just
right, like that, and that's a good thing. But we don't communicate on how, if you do something that offends me, now we got beef. And you may not even know we have beef. I got beef with you in my head, and I'm over here living my life. And then we, you know, not me, but people go, you know, man, F Big Rob, dog. He's a jerk. Da, 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 da. I ain't messing with that dude. And you can go on your whole time and not even know. Instead of just being grown and say, hey, Big Rob, the way you talked to me that day, you know, mama, the way you talked to me that day, mama, let me tell you something. You got one more time, you know? Like, if we would just communicate the things that we feel, especially I think as men, communication is like, it's frowned upon to express your feelings how you're in society.
A safe place, though. It's a lot of times I feel we don't communicate because we don't feel like it's a safe place to communicate.
Yeah, too.
You know what I mean? You can't.
When you say a safe place, like, you mean with that person?
Yeah, in any situation.
But my thing is, if you're not in a safe place to communicate with that person, then what the hell do they even matter to you?
But that's our fear a lot of times. So, like, I've been in relationships where I know that if I communicate this particular thing, there's going to be some sort of repercussion. Why? Because they get in their feelings, right? And it's not always about that person, but somehow people seem to make it about them, you know? So you just get a little apprehensive about communicating certain things because you know that it's not going to be received.
Yeah.
Or, you know, there's going to be backlash. Now, I'm talking about a deeper conversation.
Well, I mean,
deeper relationship.
what I would think is that person lacks self-assessment.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. But that's where you have to, you know, there's not always that safe place to communicate. But those are for deeper relationships. Now, on everyday surface level relationships, of course, you can't expect that out of some people.
But yeah, I don't think.
Yeah.
Oh no, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. People communicate.
Two different stations, bro.
And we, but that's the whole thing, is like, you have to realize the way someone talks and the way you hear it may not be like, it may not be sugar to your ears. It may not be what you want to hear. It may not be enough for you, right? Like, you may want more, you may think you deserve more, but that's who they are. That's how they communicate, or lack thereof, right? But I think there's always something tied to that. And I'm talking over an experience that I'm just kind of going through right now. And I just think communication is just, if we can just communicate and really open up to each other, you know, it would make things, in my opinion, easier, because we're grown, right? Like, we should be grown enough to talk. But you know, kids aren't not gonna think like that, you know. But I think that's a good discussion overall. Bailey, I want to kind of come to you. It's Mother's Day. Give me a little.
Back around.
And I'm gonna come back to y'all. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that was good. It was a good conversation. Big L, were we good? I mean,
that was what we call a rabbit hole. Somewhere in there. We talked about that. We're gonna get back to that. But
so now we're talking about TikTok.
No. We're just talking about the rabbit hole part.
Rabbit hole TikTok. That's what I got. Concerted staying up late. TikTok. I refuse to get it.
Gotta get rid of it, anyways.
No, that's the whole point of the conversation.
My mom, man, it's crazy. My parents are completely opposite. Completely opposite. I can't even, like, you would never even fathom. So
I laugh because I've seen it.
I will say this: my overall demeanor is 100% my mom. Like, super calm, calculated. At the same time, very warm, giving, generous. Both of my parents have always been there, but I definitely say that my mom, I've taken a lot more characteristics from her. She grew up partially in an orphanage back in the day when this was like completely against the norm. Her father is the one that raised her. Like, he took all the kids out of the orphanage and he raised them, and then he ended up getting remarried. So they created a blended family, but very, very poor. But she, at an early age, learned to work her way out of a lot of situations. I mean, she was born in rural New Hampshire, freezing cold winter. You know those stories where your parents tell you, or you hear like, I had to walk 10 miles in this snowstorm. Like, she literally did that. Like, it's not even a joke. I'm like, we've gone back to New Hampshire, and she's like, I had to walk from this place, and we would drive somewhere else. She's like, I walked from here to here in the snow. I'm like, wow, like that's some real stuff that she's gone through. So anyway, point is, I took a lot of her characteristics. I truly appreciate that. I've always had an appreciation for my mother, but my wedding day, the one that was in April, that was the day where it was like, I expressed that to her. I mean, our son and mother dance, like I broke down like a baby. And I felt like maybe I would, but that was like the moment where this was like, I can't even put it into words. It was just, I'm that little kid again.
Why do you think that moment happened at your wedding?
Because my mother and I are very much the same. We are very internal. So, you know, we'll tell each other we love each other, but it's not like a overly affectionate relationship, and that's fine for me. Like, that's who I am. Like, I'm not gonna try to necessarily step outside my zone, but I think for both of us that was a very culminating point. Like, I appreciate you as a son. I appreciate her obviously as a mother, everything she's done for me, and this is time for me to grow beyond that. Like, I'm starting my family, and speaking of mothers, Mo is the best mother that I could ever have wanted for my daughter.
Brownie points, boy, put it on the show.
And it's crazy because she would always talk about, even before we even got married, like, she was always worried about, you think I'll be a good mom? You think I'll be a good mom? And I'm like, to be honest, you act a lot like my mom, so I think you're gonna be a great mom. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Like you said, the transformation. Like, I always thought that of her, but it's just like confirmation when you see it. Now that we're expecting another one, it's just.
Wait, what? Huh? What? Breaking. This is breaking news. No, let's go down this rabbit hole. First off, how did it happen? No.
So, that's not playing. But yeah.
Was this on vacation? No. Wow.
And,
well, congratulations.
I appreciate it. And, you know, I'm glad that we're actually having this conversation about mothers, because you know how I am, man. I'm not like a real verbal person, and taking this opportunity to highlight the mothers in my life, the two most important, I would say. It means a lot. It means a lot to me, for sure, and I'm sure it'll mean a lot to them when they watch the show.
Yeah.
So, congratulations, mothers.
That's good, man. You want to say something about your baby mama?
I mean, yeah, I can touch on it again. Yeah, I can touch on it again.
She's from the east side.
Like pretty much like you said, it's like you get a snapshot of like people's character, especially like the longer and longer that you are tethered together, right? So like she always showed glimpses of like motherhood type of traits. You know what I mean? The way she looks after her younger brother, how she takes care of me. Like she'll put whatever she's doing now to take care of me or whoever it may be first, right? Nurturing, the loving. After I came back from my deployment, she'll have like the house decorated with all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like just she's a beautiful soul. Like Shauna is the most pure soul I've ever encountered, man.
She's a little ratchet though.
She can be. She have her own, but it's like it's when she is, it's needed. Yeah, you got her to that point.
I need a little hood in my chick.
Everybody need it, bro.
Y'all out there, man, I need a little hood. I need a little hood in my chick. You know what I'm saying?
But like she's well read. She's well spoken, man. And she's like literally like my best friend, man. Like literally my best friend. She's a beautiful soul. And like seeing her just kind of umbrella that and shower that, those characteristics I seen like over the course of time to our daughter, like it's dope, man. I think about more so than just my daughter. I think about my wife and my daughter together, if that makes sense, right? Yeah. Just that they're like a keychain. They're like tied at the hip, man. So it's just dope to like witness all that, and it's beautiful. She's doing a wonderful job, man. Wonderful job.
Yeah, that's cool. That's my sis, man. She's super dope. So Miss Mother on the set.
Thank
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you so much.
Happy Mother's Day. Y'all celebrated yesterday.
We did. We went to my mom's. There's a lot of us there. My grandmother's still around, so.
I didn't see no masks. What's going on with that?
We are all
vaccinated.
All vaccinated,
yeah.
And according to
CDC guidelines.
We don't have to learn.
We're not offering. We are not.
I am not a doctor.
This is not no medical advice.
I'm just telling you what they told me on the TV.
On the TV.
We are all vaccinated. Yeah.
TikTok tell you that.
TikTok. Oh, yeah,
jeez.
No, yeah, we had a great time. So, my mom will go man, where do I start?
Wherever you
I
want.
think she's, growing up as a girl, right? Your mom, for me, was like my enemy. Like, I remember there was times in my life where I'm like, oh, this lady, and I think that's just any teenager as we're kind of finding ourselves. But the older I get, and it's a true saying, you become your mother. Like, you turn into your mother, you become this person. And there's no other person I'd rather be. She has taught me how to be a woman. She has taught me how to be, even though it's not the season I'm in, but a wife. She's been married to my father for 48 years. So just seeing her service to my father, putting him first, being a career woman. She always had a job, throughout growing up, so her own career. So she's just really just taught me a lot about just becoming a woman and taking care of her household. My kids jokingly, they'll say, who is, the king of the castle? This is at my mom's house, my mom and dad's house, and they're always like, Grandma,
Hey, what's going on, guys? Mark Mendez here with eXp Realty, the real estate coach. A lot of my clients and family members and friends ask me who my solar guy is, so I want to introduce you to him, Eric Allen of Alternative Solar. And he has something that he wants to exclusively offer to my family and friends.
Yeah, hey guys, look, we know that buying a house and owning a house can be very costly. So what I'm doing strictly for just Mark's guys and Mark's people is what we're doing is we're taking care of your first year of utility bills by going solar. Not only that, we are registered contractors. So everybody that goes solar through my company gets $2,500 in your pocket. Free estimate, free quote, guaranteed to save you money. Just let us know Mark sent you.
Because we know who makes the decisions there, you know what I mean? But she's just a wise person. She's a wise person, kind of like Bailey, but like you mentioned, not very affectionate in that regard. When we were sick, my dad's the one who always took care of us. But
really,
and I think that's kind of the way that I am. I'm not very like touchy, because my mom wasn't like that. But the older she gets, with my kids.
Yeah,
like,
it's completely different.
hey, where was this woman at when I was growing up? You know, where was this? You know, whatever
that a
you
lot,
want.
right?
Yes,
Like,
you want that, of course. I'm like, no. Where was that same energy when I was growing up?
Same energy.
He does, yeah. So she's just a good person. You know, I now she's probably my best friend. I talk to her every day. And we just have a different dynamic of a relationship as an adult. You know, it's cool. I can joke with her. I can say inappropriate things, you know, and her not get, you know me.
Oh, yeah, we be at the gym and shit.
I have no filter.
My God, I'm like, did you just say that?
I did just say that. So we're friends now, you know. I mean, but there's still that dynamic where, you know, she still wants to say what she wants to say, but now I'm like, no, you know, Mom, I love you, but respectfully, respectfully, you know. So it's a good thing.
I think it's good that y'all best friends now.
We are best friends now. And she's a great grandmother.
I see a lot of younger parents that are best friends now.
Oh no.
And
that's part of the problem.
No,
That's the problem.
We were not friends.
Let's talk about it. What's up?
No.
That's the problem.
I think
Well, I
that's
tell
it's
my
a time
kids
and
that. I
place.
tell my kids that all the time.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm not here to be your friend. You know what I mean? Like, I am not your
Yeah.
friend. You know,
Be friends later.
My kids are 5, and
Yeah.
they'll be like, "You're not my friend." That's good. I
Great.
don't want to be
Yeah.
your friend.
Yeah.
I have enough friends.
First of all, Maximus is don't care. Maximus has his own
Maximo.
damn friends. Maximo, sorry.
Oh, I know,
That kid
my
is-
baby.
that
he,
kid is
he
a
beats
space
his
cadet.
own drum. He's just like,
You want to talk about beating to his own drum? That I be seeing him in
Yeah.
the gym. I'm like, what's he doing?
yeah, he's like, but you know what? That little boy's so smart.
Really?
He just says, like, he's intelligent. You know, it's scary. It's kind of scary. What he says.
Talk about what it is like. What it is for you to be a mother, like.
Man, motherhood is exciting. You learn a lot about yourself becoming a parent, you know, just your patience, the patience that you have. I think being a parent has made me a better person because I can tolerate things. I'm a little more patient because I have to be, you know, you have to be like, and I have to remind myself too because I'm always on the go. And so I have to slow down for them because when they're with me, they're riding, you know, let's go, we're moving, you know, and so I have to remind myself that, you know,
They're little people.
They're little people, you know, I have to be a little more patient with them. But, you know, my kids are very self-sufficient. I don't baby them at all. They make their beds. They, you know, they're, you know, it's a challenge. But for me, it's tough. I have to find that balance between being nurturing and comforting and, you know, and trying to teach them
Life.
you know.
That's what's up.
But it's rewarding. But it's hard. You question, every night I question, did I do this right? Did I make the right choice today for them? But you know, at the end of the day, they just love you. They just look at you and they love you and you could do no wrong. You know, even though you know, like, shit, I probably shouldn't have done that, or maybe I shouldn't have snapped so quick, or, you know, but to them, you're just your mommy, you know, I love you, you know, and so.
Made me think about Ali right there. Like, I don't have no kids, so it's my
They
kid.
just look at you with these eyes, like, man, you're the
Yeah.
best thing, and it's like, okay.
That's what's up. So I want to talk about my mother a little bit, if that's okay.
Yeah.
This day is actually, and I'm gonna try not to. I told you I needed my eyes.
the tissues.
I told you my eyes were dry. I think I'm about to.
There's those Clorox wipes.
Don't you throw those over here? Don't you throw those over here, Al? Don't make me look like that on camera.
In this shirt, like,
Well, in 2007, my life changed on Mother's Day, Saturday into Sunday, and this is a little bit of my story, part of my life story. I got jumped by 16 guys, being at a place I probably shouldn't have been. I mean, it was just a bar, but doing things I shouldn't have been doing probably, and the reason it hurt so much is because my mom saw me literally in the hospital bed. You know, they thinking I'm dying. You know, like, damn it, like, can we cut? You know, for her to have to see me like that on Mother's Day, changed my life forever. Like, absolutely changed my life forever. Because, damn, y'all talk about, you know, how much you love your mother and stuff, right? And for her to have to see that on, like, her day, for everything that she's done for me and continues to do, that was tough. And that was really a big changing point in my life, that I realized I had to do better, be better, not only for them, but obviously for myself. And it's just real emotional because, I mean, you've seen the picture.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen the picture. I think I just showed you, just on Monday, because I just always remember this day because it was Mother's Day, Saturday and Sunday. And it was just life-changing. Part of the reason why, you know, I loved helping kids and mentoring kids because, you know, where we're from, you know, Marbach. I'll have a new Marbach shirt on next week, by the way. I got a whole bunch of them lined up. But we don't always get that direction, and we don't always get that guidance. And everybody at this table in L, y'all are all doing something to impact people's lives. You know, you with the, you know, the military, you being on the show, and I know this is not your thing, you know, you with training, you know. And so when you surround yourself with the right people, in 2007, I wasn't surrounding myself with the right people, and I almost lost my life. It was, I probably should have died. I mean, I really should have died. I looked really bad. Apparently they were ready to shoot me, but, you know, they heard sirens, and so, I mean, I was bad. I had, you know, blood clot in my face, broken nose. I ate like out of a straw for like 2 weeks because of all the cuts, and my teeth were so sensitive. I didn't lose no teeth though. And look how pretty I am still. You know what I'm saying? I got this one scar, which I'm glad that I have a scar because I you know, see it every day on my face, and you can, sometimes you have to relive your past. And really, just even talking about this kind of like motivates me to like grind harder and do better. And so my mother is just always supported me, almost too much sometimes. You laugh. Y'all know my mom, man. Like, but I have a fallback with my family and my parents all the time. They just support me. And I think that's, you know, to balance, because, and I've told them this before, it's like, y'all were too supportive, if that makes sense, you know, because I think if you feel like you can't fall on your face, like, we need to fall on our face sometimes. Figure it out, you know, when
but
they're.
they ain't letting it happen.
No, like they're always gonna have my back, and it's like, you know, it's enabling. I've done financial things before, just like we all have, I'm sure. I bought a damn house in 2008 and foreclosure, trying to flip it. Wasn't even in real estate. Like, look, I'm the real estate coach now. And it was like 2008? Yeah. But they just always supported me, man. And my mother, especially, we're very, very similar, which is funny because you and your mom are similar, but you said you and your mom are different. Me and my mom are like, we're the same, like super emotional, super like affectionate, you know, loving. And my dad's the one that's like, boy, you crying on your podcast, you crying on your show? What the hell's wrong with you, you know? But I just want to give a huge shout out to my mom for always being there. I got her flowers yesterday. Just because I'm at HEB, so let me get these real quick.
It's on here. It's on here. And I'm thinking
about my mom. Today anyways.
Yeah, I did get a gift. I also want to give a shout out to my sister, who is a mother in her own right, all my aunts and everybody else, and just everybody, all you mothers out there, for sure. I think before we kind of wrap up, Big Rob, quick question. Do you like to read?
Initially, no. As the older I'm getting, I've definitely been trying to expand my palette.
Okay. What are you reading right now?
So right now I'm leaving the Frederick Douglass, right? So it's a lot of audio, right? Because I feel like I have a hard time sitting still, right?
So you listen to audible books?
Audio, yeah.
Do you think that's reading?
I don't know how else you say it. Would you say I'm listening to?
You're getting information.
You're getting information,
that you didn't
right?
have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ben Velarde, did you hear that?
Oh, Big Ben.
Hey, you always got something to say.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. I hope he sees this. But yeah, he gives me crap. I'm reading the book.
He's probably one of the best like critics of the show. Like he always tell us like, hey, check this out, or when you do this or you say that, like
he did be watching.
I appreciate that for sure.
The reason I knew it wasn't on Spotify because he was messaging.
Oh yeah, he was on it. Like, yo,
where's it at? I'm looking for it on Spotify. I'm like, L, what's going on over here? L? I'm like, I don't know why it's not on Spotify. I'm like, it's on YouTube. So, okay, so Frederick Douglass.
Yeah, Frederick Douglass. I read the 4 Agreements. My wife, she read that book like years ago, and I finally, I guess, listened to it. Mm-hmm. So it's
for Ben.
But like the Malcolm X, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Richest Man in Babylon.
That's one I heard.
Second time we've heard that.
That was the second, I guess, financial prosperity book I read after.
Oh, it's financial?
Yeah,
okay.
It puts things into like.
But I think LaRon said it wasn't just like financial.
It's not, but it is, right?
Yeah,
it is. It definitely has an overtone of like some type of financial.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I'm just trying to feed my brain with different information. I've noticed I don't listen to a lot of music unless I'm working out. Right, so there's a lot of podcasts, long-form podcasts, and a lot of books that I'm pretty much gravitating to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to.
You don't be bumping in that.
Man, it's kind of hard to hear, bro.
That beat that you got in there.
It's kind of hard to hear.
Yeah, because it's like.
But yeah, man, I guess this one.
Well, man, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I know you've always been an insightful guy. So, and then thank you for your service for sure. Thank you for the impact you're making on young people. Showing them a different way, a way that could help them and change generations of their own family. So we appreciate that, man.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me. Appreciate it.
Oh, for sure. Do you have any parting words you want to say? Any shout outs or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. Shout out to all the mothers.
There you go.
My mama, love you to death. My wife, Shauna, love you. All my sister-in-laws, Christy, Cherie, Isha, and Mandy, happy Mother's Day.
Sound like a DMX rap song, bro.
It does, bro. It does. To my co-workers.
I play too much.
Co-workers, happy Mother's Day. Yeah, thank y'all.
That's what's up. Bailey, got anything before you leave? Are you gonna be here next week or another vacation? Or?
I will not be here next week.
Next week I will be here.
Well, we may not film next week, but actually we have to because we're only Anyway, side note. We'll talk about that offline.
I will just say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that I know, and we'll leave. Just blanket it right there.
There you go.
Yeah, that'll work.
Same, Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers with or without children. You don't have to have children to be a mother, so.
Amen.
So thank you.
Yeah, so we again want to thank Robert, Petty Officer at work. They can get you on Instagram at
Petty Officer Davis.
At Petty Officer Davis. I like seeing him when they got new recruits. He shouts them out. It's good seeing young people and possibly up to 39-year-olds on there. Just not 40. Just not 40. But thank you guys for tuning in to Chalk Talk. Please share, like, subscribe. We're doing this to try to, get more people just some life advice and each experiences. So shout out to Alternative Solar, our sponsor. Y'all need to go like or check out their promo. They're giving away a Tesla. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, exactly, a Tesla. Okay, I don't think I could fit in one.
He didn't say Taurus. He said Tesla.
Tesla. So thank you guys for tuning in again. Remember your gift plus your wise, your purpose, and we'll see y'all next episode. What's up, guys? The Real Estate Coach here, man. Just want to thank you guys for all the support. Chalk Talk, the Open Playbook of Life. Please like and subscribe on the YouTube. Don't forget to hit the notification button so you can get updated on when we drop episodes. And also, if you're trying to catch up on the latest episodes, just go ahead and click right here and you'll see that. So again, we appreciate all the support. Leave some comments, anything that we can do to get better and provide you some topics for the show that'll help you. We're all about it. So remember, your gift plus your why equals your purpose.